not in a social context. Though digitally you are connected, you are, because now what we are doing is all because of the technology. In technology, you can do things, but still, those face-to-face contacts, the face-to-face interaction, and a teamwork, it all it all impacts. So therefore, sociologically, it has a huge impact, because you are not able to do things as a team, as a able to support each other. And the other aspect is, competitive, you are not able to go to the competition setup. And without the competition, no athlete, no player, whether it is team sports or an individual sport, can develop, because you have to peak at a certain time. Therefore there are build up competitions, where whether if you are training for an Olympics, you really don't only look for one Olympics to compete. You have to go through a process whereby you build your performance factors, where you have to peak. Therefore those so many competitions are not taking place because of COVID, which is really making players uh, uh, impact. Their whole psychology is getting impacted, their whole preparation is getting impacted, their whole life cycle, because the athlete life cycle is very short. They have a 5 to 10 years or a 12 years, or somewhere in an exceptional case they have a 15 years of productive life as a professional athlete, and they have to achieve everything during that time. Yeah. So uh, if they don't get competitions, it has a major impact. They might not be able to get the right endorsement value, they might not get the right sponsors, their earnings might be impacted. So this is all, it's interconnected. And that is where the major impact is on the athlete. And when we look in towards athlete, it is not those only top athletes. You have a chain of athletes, those who are from age groups, all the way up to the professional athletes. And when we look towards the team, team sports has a major impact again, because if you are not training as a team, you really not be able to develop those particular skills, technique, and fitness as well. Because what you can do on a organized structured training, that cannot be done in isolation. In a whether you have a treadmill at home, whether you have a certain kind of machinery at home. But in our situation, we all know, it might be just 2 to 3% of the athletes, they can afford something at home to keep themselves fit up to a certain level. And uh, these are the basic fundamental factors. The whole body gets impacted. And when it comes to the nutrition part, it's again has a major impact, because when you stopped going to the training pitches, when you are not going to the training, there is an imbalance happens, because there is a positive energy balance in the body. Therefore there is all likely you will gain more fats, because your appetite remains the same. You might consume same as what you eat during during a training period, when you are at an academy or a training center or at a national training program. So therefore that gets impacted. When you eat homemade food, it is not the best unless until it is scientifically guided, or a nutritionist is there who are guiding the athlete, and the whole home, the whole family has to adjust to that kind of eating. You end up imbalanced, you don't get those balanced diets, and then the immunity gets impacted time, because when you are athletes faster than other people, because you are training outside every day, except maybe few days in a week you are taking rest, but you are out. So that, your whole immunity gets impacted, your mineral vitamins, which is again important. So our athletes in India, it's not that blessed to have that kind of scientific support 24 into 7, 365 days, that they are constantly gets guided to eat the right food even if they are at home, and those supplements, if they are in a training program, they might get supplements. If all of the athletes cannot afford to buy those supplements, and supplements have to be taken in through a right proportion, and it should be guided by a sports medicine expert nutritionist as well. So therefore the whole science gets for an athlete, and this COVID period, it's a major hurdle for an athlete uh, to prepare, to maintain, and to think of competing at a bigger and different level. So therefore the whole training reversibility is happening right now. That's really bad for athlete, when they are training 6 to 8 or 10 weeks, and we are already crossed more than 10 weeks now, and that's a huge impact on athletes. And and that also, now with all the social distancing norms and different regulations, once you also allow the athletes to come, it's more, psychologically, many of the athletes will have issue in their mind, whether it is safe to train, whether it is safe to be out with others, and are we prepared to provide that kind of facility, that kind of structure to our athletes. Therefore the psychological aspect is huge. Even if we resume now, we can resume uh, it's not easy for athletes, and we all know in our situation we don't have enough number of support staff with our athletes, even if they are Olympic level athletes. Very few have those kind of privileges where they have everyone with them who give them the expert guidance, where they are totally dependent. It is our is still a very infancy stage of sports, high performance sports, or what elite player development scenario. In that situation, we are at a major risk, and athletes are at the mercy. And that is where we have to think of building a different kind of a protocol, whereby athletes need to have more psychological support, yeah, start resuming their training, everything, to check them, because today the sports analytics is big, all over the world. It's all data based. Whether you slept 6 hours, 8 hours, whether each of the muscles got recovered, all can be tested within a second. And that is where the sports science comes into play. And if our athletes, even if they were at home during this COVID period, they could have been monitored, 24 into 7, or at least few hours in the day, to know every physiological, psychological, and in terms of testing. Yeah? in terms of testing their physical parameters, their physiological parameters, their psychological parameters. To begin with, it has to be psychological parameters. Without even they knowing those things, it's been put to test. Do we have those systems, those structure, those expertise? Yeah, that is where we have to build, and that is what we need to do. And this COVID, if we take it positively, I would say there is certain way one can look also towards the positive things. The positive things to describe for athlete, for us, those who are building those elite athletes, for all of them, this period has given to introspect. Also, what were the gaps? We need to analyze every then and now. What are the gaps? And this gap analysis in for individual athletes, those teams, even the whole setup can help to build the right structure and the system. Those, just for an example, and these 2 months which has gone, if those were those all those institutions, all those organizations which support elite athletes development, elite players development, I'm sure they must have gone through what they can do best when they resume training. uh, Whether we need to look for the right infrastructure, whether we have the right scientific support, whether we have the right support to the athlete development, whether we are scouting the talents at the right way, whether we have the right encouragement model, and whether we have the right competition model. Every aspect, this opportunity should have been used. I'm sure those wise people must have used it. And this is the phase where innovation and technology is key, and sports science is interlinked with that. And without innovation, without the use of technology, we really cannot do anything. And all athletes we see, those who are performing at the top, at the Olympics or the world championship, they are supported by the technology and innovation. And there are hundreds of research going right now through innovation, how we best can prepare our athletes, our sportsmen. And this period was really, really very positive for all of them. Those who were doing research, and even for individual athletes, to introspect for themselves also. What I can do best, how I can change my lifestyle, how I can spend more time with family. And also, there are situations when athletes doesn't find a big what is called uh, period of rest period to take care of themselves, to kind of uh, distract from everything and be with the family. So these are the positive aspect of COVID which provided to athletes. And I'm sure if they were guided better, and if they were wise enough, they must have used this positively. And all that, it helps. And it is, sports is all about a teamwork. It's a community. It's not about the individual what they think. No, we in India right now, everyone says India has got 1.35 billion people, but we don't have enough champions. The problem is we haven't we still very, very backward in terms of putting science into everything. And we don't have structure also. We don't have that kind of long term approach also. So those who are part of those elite program, those who've been champions, they will all know how they come to that level, and it was sheer their hard work. Therefore, many of the athletes have come not by design but by accident. Yeah? And it is not the system which has brought them here. So this was the time where I'm sure many of them have put their minds in to see how best we can train athlete, how best we can support athlete. And that's very, very important. And I won't take much of going forward. except the one aspect of injury and rehabilitation is one area where if the athletes were injured pre-COVID, it has given them an opportunity to use this period to get rehabilitated, and that has given them more time and comfort as well, because they know there is no competition. Therefore they can, they remain mentally strong, and their that got the recovery measures, I would say their situation was much better. So this way, no, there were multiple things. I'm not going very deep into it because I would wait for certain questions, and it would be much better. That would be much more interactive. Uh, yes, thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your views and sharing your experiences with us. You very nicely explained the conditions which trained athletes are facing right now. There are some questions, sir, in question answer block. People, one of them want to ask you about the training model which China is following. He took 2 to 3 years old kids in their academy and used to train them. So what type of system India has to develop to get more medals in international level in this scenario now? As you said that we our policies are in very bad shape and already we are so much backward. So and this COVID conditions are made sports very different now. So in this condition, what type of facilities or system we have to develop so that we can get more medals in international level in coming future?
Yeah, good question. Thank you. See, the China definitely is a different country. Yeah, their whole structure is different, which we really cannot think of copying them, because their model of governance is something different than us. Therefore, we should not look into what they are doing, but what we can do, that is more important. Right now what we have to do is we have to enlarge the participation base, because though we are 1.35 billion people, not many are playing the sports in the right way. Therefore grassroots is important. The more children have to play, our schools have to provide more opportunity for children to play. School, sadly, they are not promoting sports. They are only promoting few children. They are exceptional. School is not meant for sports excellence. School is meant for, like, what they do for in maths, in English, other subjects. They have to do similar thing in schools. Every school must promote participation. Every child in the school must be exposed to different activities, sports activities. They must have more teachers in sports in schools, because right now the ratio is very bad. Is 1:2000, 1:2000, 1:5000 in some of the schools. Compare, one sports teacher is tackling 1,000 children or 4,000 children, which will never take India to any level. Because that is why we need to encourage more children to play sports. That's fundamental. And if more children play sports, we will find better talents in the system, and therefore those talents need to be trained by our sports federations, sports organizations, government departments. And there has to be a system, there has to be a structure. We must come out with a certain vision document. And right now our new sports minister is very proactive. He is thinking right, and he is thinking how that structure can come up in the country, whereby by 28 or 32 Olympics there can be more medals. Because medal is just 1% of the whole thing in sports. What we have to think is how we can create fit individuals, fit citizens, better healthy citizens, those, so that we have productive, become a productive country all the way, and sports can play a greater role. And if we can do all, we will see more champions on the top, because it is not that 100 player or 1,000 player you start focusing and you will find 100 medals or 1,000 medals. No, it is a millions we need to encourage to be part of sports, and there will be one champion. So therefore, one in a million we will find a champion. Right now it is two in 1.35 billion. That's the ratio. There were two medals in the last Olympics. So if we go by that, we have some 65 crore people wins one medal for us. So that ratio has to come down, to certain crore first, and that's how we will improve the graph. And but we need to have a very encouraging system overall, and I'm sure it will happen, because there are many initiatives also coming from government, and even the state government, and many private companies also investing into sports. But it will take time. Sport is such, we really cannot uh, create a laboratory situation where you put certain chemicals and something comes out. It is not that possibility. So we have to really work hard for next 10 to 15 years, 20 years, to really change the graph and image of our sporting landscape.
Thank you so much, sir. There are so many questions related to exercise science and related to that sports. One is want to ask, how can we maintain the muscle mass and maintain fitness? And they are talking about faster fitness of professional players, those who are facing COVID lockdown. So, sir.
See, it is not a some, what I would say is that an athlete, to maintain its muscle mass or a muscle strength or a power, it's all one need to design the program, and that design of the program will be done by the experts. Where exercise physiologist will get involved, whether a fitness expert will get involved, whether the coach will get involved. Therefore, what you have to do is what kind of muscle power, what kind of muscle strength, because there are different types of muscle, and depending upon what is your activity, whether you are in explosive activity, whether you are in activity where you need more muscle endurance, yeah, where you need more muscle power. So all determines what kind of training one need to do, to maintain that, and what is the level in the periodization phase, which period you are in. So that all determines. It's completely science, and it is everyday measurement. Today with data, you exactly know how your muscle is working, and which muscle is working at what level, and what is the strength index. The data point gives you an accurate strength, whether your quadriceps, whether your hamstring, whatever muscles you want to test, you can test it, and take it to the level the way you want, whether provided you have those basic elementary components with you. Because you really, if your body is not meant to have certain level of strength, your basic strength, your maximum strength is not up to that level, your explosive strength might not get reached to that level. So therefore it's all science, how you calculate it, how you bring expert to it, and they will give you a program to develop. And if you follow that program, and the program cannot be in isolation, it has to be coordinated, controlled, and guided by the experts throughout that period. And it is not that somebody prescribes medicine and you are doing yourself alone. That might not give you that accurate result. Yeah. So therefore it's a teamwork. And during COVID it is more difficult, because you might not have the equipment at home to build your strength to a certain level. But certain level of strength you can maintain through certain activities, through your own body weight, and through certain innovation. You can carry certain which would help to maintain your strength to a certain level, but not to the level of competition level, or more not to the level of training level, because you are at home, you really cannot recreate your training situation, which is very difficult.
Thank you so much, sir. It is very well explained. Uh, all the aspects, scientific aspects of training, you have explained very well, and psychological aspects which we are facing right now, how we can support our players. There are many things like family support, there are positive things, their own way to move towards doing something good. For that they have to maintain their own goal. Goal setting is very much required right now, and the most importantly, which you have said, that we have to focus exercise sciences, physical education, sports. We all those who are professionalists, they should more focus on fitness of the society and for all over people of the country. So thank you so much, sir. Indeed, it was really very informative session. Thanks for giving your precious time to us. Thank you so much once again. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you. Stay safe. My best wishes. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Now we are sharing one poll on the screen for participants. Please fill that. You can see that poll on the screen. Share it. Now you can see the poll in your screen. Over to hello. Rajri, head school of studies in law, student welfare, expertise in various areas. So I welcome you here, sir, and I request you to please start your session. Now over to you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Deepti. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Eminent personalities from different fields, organizers, eminent speakers, panelists, participants, ladies and gentlemen. At the very outset, I would like to express my sincere thanks to organizers for providing me an opportunity to speak in front of you on this Belvedere. I am feeling great pleasure as I have got this opportunity. Before the start of my lecture, I congratulate Dr. Saji for nice presentation. The presentation was very informative. I congratulate him. I am directed by Dr. Joshi to speak on candid opinion about sports sciences, means an unbiased opinion about sports sciences. Since I am from the field of sports sciences, if I belong to the field of sports sciences, some biasness may occur, but I will try to speak in a candid opinion about the significance of sports sciences in this epidemic, in this COVID-19 epidemic. Dear friends, we all know that the daily routine, food habits, and the lifestyle of the individuals have been changed. Due to this change, or due to the change in the daily routine, food habits, and the lifestyle, people are drawing their health status, spiritual development, as well as their habits in the brink of precipice. But sports sciences may play a great role. Sports science may solve our problems in this epidemic. So I will start my presentation. Since I have said my presentation is about candid opinion about role of exercise science in this COVID-19 epidemic. Dr. Joshi, is it visible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Perfect.
Dear friends, before this epidemic, we are very free to do any type of activity, but nowadays we are living in a bubble. We are living in some instructions. I am also instructed by Dr. Joshi to speak in both the languages, English as well as Hindi. In between, if any participants wants to speak my speech in Hindi, you may request in message box, or you may tell me directly. So I will speak in both the languages, English as well as Hindi. Nowadays we are living in a bubble with restrictions. हम एक क्वच में आजकल रह रहे हैं, हमारे चारों तरफ एक क्वच है, but not only one restriction is required, we require both the types of bubbles, inner protection as well as outer protection. हमें सुरक्षा चाहिए आज के दिन. वह सुरक्षा केवल बाह्य सुरक्षा नहीं, वो आंतरिक सुरक्षा भी चाहिए. उस आंतरिक सुरक्षा की बात भी करेंगे. Otherwise this will lead us to visit doctor, और केवल डॉक्टर नहीं, केवल डॉक्टर तक नहीं पहुंचाएंगे, पता नहीं कहां तक हमें पहुंचा सकता है. You may assume, हम इसका अंदाजा लगा सकते हैं. I will present my presentation into 3 different parts. In the first part, I will discuss about exercise science in very brief. In the second part, I will discuss about immune system. And in the third part is the most important part. I will discuss about exercise and immune system. I will discuss about the relationship between exercise science and immune system on the basis of clinical researches, on the basis of observational studies, on the basis of survey studies. Now, starting from the first part, that is exercise science. What do you mean by exercise science? कि हम व्यायाम विज्ञान से क्या समझते हैं, क्योंकि मुझे आशा है कि जितने भी पार्टिसिपेंट्स हैं सब फ्रॉम द फील्ड ऑफ एक्सरसाइज साइंस नहीं होंगे, ऑल आर नॉट फ्रॉम द फील्ड ऑफ एक्सरसाइज साइंस. तो उन सब के लिए जानना जरूरी है कि एक्सरसाइज साइंस वास्तव में है क्या. संक्षिप्त में बात करते हैं एक्सरसाइज साइंस की. Exercise science is a study of the bodily movements that contribute to. In this, it means in the exercise science, we study in detail about the bodily movements, different type of movements. And these bodily movements in the form of exercise, these contribute to human fitness. Human fitness means these contribute to improve our strength, to improve our endurance. We can delay the fatigue for longer duration. Maybe agility may be improved, speed may be improved, and different types of motor qualities, motor abilities we improve by these types of movements. And the second is, we also study about holistic wellness. हम केवल एक विशेष केवल शारीरिक विकास की इसमें बात नहीं करते हैं, हमें संकुचित नहीं रहना चाहिए. We should not restrict ourselves on a one aspect, but the approach is holistic approach. Means we take care about social wellness also, we take care about spiritual wellness, also about mental wellness, about physical wellness, etc. And in this, we also study about longevity. So in the field of exercise science, we exercise. During exercise, we frame a schedule, and we may frame this program or a schedule on the basis of long-term plan that may be from 4 to 8 years. We may plan for annual training plan, means what, up to 1 year. That may be 2 to 6 weeks. That is known as macro cycle in the language of sports sciences. That may be 3 to 7 days, means microcycles. And the smallest unit of any training session is smallest unit is training session. यानी हम जो भी हम प्रोग्राम बनाएंगे उसका जो सबसे न्यूनतम इकाई होगी वो एक ट्रेनिंग सेशन होगा, प्रशिक्षण सत्र होगा. उस प्रशिक्षण सत्र से ही शुरू करते हैं. आई विल स्टार्ट फ्रॉम द स्मॉलेस्ट यूनिट. एक जो सबसे छोटी यूनिट है, सबसे छोटी इकाई है, उससे ही जितना भी हमारा ट्रेनिंग प्रोग्राम, जितना भी प्रशिक्षण का जो कार्यक्रम तैयार होगा वह होगा. बात करते हैं, उसके लिए हमें जानना होगा, वी शुड हैव एन आइडिया अबाउट ट्रेनिंग लोड. हमें थोड़ा जानना होगा प्रशिक्षण भार के बारे में कि व्हाट डू यू मीन बाय ट्रेनिंग लोड. ट्रेनिंग लोड इज ए बॉडीली और नर्वस डिमांड made on an organism caused by well directed motion stimuli. It means it is a demand of mind as well as body. ये केवल शरीर की ही डिमांड नहीं है. परिभाषा में बिल्कुल जो मैंने आपको बताया उसमें क्लियर, इट्स वेरी क्लियर. इट इज अ डिमांड ऑफ बॉडी as well as mind. Now the second part of my wording says that this is given by motor stimulus. This is given by different types of movements. We do different types of movements, maybe running, jumping, throwing, playing, climbing, etc. It is given by motor stimulus. The last part is, but there is a condition. That condition is essential. Otherwise, that will not lead to positive effects. It should be done in a well direction. It means all the principles of training load, all the rules and regulations on the basis of the scientific evidences should be followed to get the optimal benefit. Otherwise, that will lead to negative effects also. After the brief description of training load, I will discuss about the different types of training loads. It means the training load is divided into two subclasses, outer load and inner load. What do you mean by inner load? Inner load means the internal changes that occurs due to outer load, due to exercise, due to training session, maybe by the help of running, jumping, climbing, etc. Examples are change in the resting heart rate, change in respiratory rate, change in positive breath holding capacity, change in negative breath holding capacity, change in vital capacity. These are the examples of inner load. But I will discuss in detail about outer load that is given to the individual from outside. It means we perform physically. This outer load is also divided into two subclasses. First one is intensity. Intensity means the speed of work done. At what speed, हम किस गति से हम किसी कार्य को करते हैं, that is known as intensity. That is a part of outer load. दूसरा है, second one is volume. Volume means the total work done. कुल किया गया कार्य कहलाता है वॉल्यूम. इसका अर्थ हुआ हम कोई भी सत्र प्रशिक्षण का करेंगे, किसी भी तरह का व्यायाम करेंगे, if we do any type of exercises, we have volume in that, we have intensity of that. Both, that is volume and intensity, are also subdivided into two categories. Intensity is divided into two categories, that is intensity and density. We have discussed earlier that intensity is the speed of work done. Density is the rest period in between the two sets of intensities. हम यदि निरंतर काफी देर तक, यदि if we do the exercise for a longer duration, एक pace, एक intensity से, एक high intensity से नहीं कर सकते. We require small gaps of rest in between. That is known as density. Volume is also subdivided into two categories, duration and frequency. Duration means, duration के हम शब्द एक डिक्शनरी मीनिंग पर न जाए. Duration may be a distance also. और टाइम ऑल्सो. फ्रीक्वेंसी इज नंबर ऑफ रिपीटिशंस. एक छोटा सा एक लेमैन की भाषा में एक उदाहरण के साथ मैं बताने का प्रयास करता हूं. यदि किसी व्यक्ति को कह दिया गया कि आप 50 मीटर की 10 स्प्रिंट लगाइए, then the volume will be 500 मीटर, और उसको निर्देशित किया गया कि you have to complete one sprint in 10 seconds, तो 10 सेकंड हुआ इंटेंसिटी, और उस व्यक्ति विशेष को कहा गया कि you have to take 30 seconds rest in between the two sets of intensities, तो 30 सेकंड हुआ रेस्ट पीरियड, दैट इज डेंसिटी. तो इस प्रकार से हम किसी भी प्रशिक्षण कार्यक्रम का निर्माण करते हैं तो वी हैव टू टेक केयर अबाउट फ्रीक्वेंसी, ड्यूरेशन, डेंसिटी एंड इंटेंसिटी. इन चारों का हमें ध्यान रखना चाहिए. इसमें अधिक समय मैं नष्ट नहीं करूंगा, आगे बढ़ते हैं ट्रेनिंग इफेक्ट्स. सबसे पहले बात करते हैं ट्रेनिंग इफेक्ट की कि व्हाट टाइप ऑफ इफेक्ट्स टेक्स प्लेस आफ्टर द ट्रेनिंग. प्रशिक्षण के बाद किस प्रकार के प्रभाव हमारे ऊपर पड़ते हैं, हमारे शरीर पर पड़ते हैं. First type of effect is known as immediate effect. Immediately after the completion of exercise. These may be during the exercise also. These may be immediately after the training session also. Examples are increase in the vital capacity, increase in the heart rate, increase in the respiratory rate, etc. And there are some delayed effect. It means if we do exercise today, the effect may be after 1 week also. These comes into the category of delayed effects. It means this is the final outcome of the training session. And the next one is the cumulative effect. Cumulative effect is the result of several sessions. In our training session, हम किसी भी प्रशिक्षण कार्यक्रम में किसी एक प्रकार का अभ्यास नहीं करते हैं. We do speed work also, we do aerobics, we do yogic exercises, we do strength training. It means cumulative result is, that is the addition of the effect of all types of exercises, all types of training programs, that is known as cumulative. And this is mentioned in the aerobics by Cooper in the year 1968, and this is repeated by Bompa in the year 2019. Now I will come to the second part. अब मैं दूसरे भाग, मेरे प्रस्तुतिकरण के दूसरे भाग पर आता हूं, इम्यून सिस्टम, रोग प्रतिरोध क्षमता. क्योंकि जो आज के दिन हमें आवश्यकता है, कोविड-19 की जो विश्वव्यापी महामारी फैली हुई है, इस विश्वव्यापी महामारी में हमारे पास केवल एक ही ऑप्शन है, टू स्ट्रेंथन आवर इम्यून सिस्टम. हम अपनी रोग प्रतिरोध क्षमता को अच्छा बनाएं. इसके अतिरिक्त अभी तक कोई ऐसे क्लिनिकल एविडेंसेस नहीं है जिनके आधार पर कोई ऐसी ड्रग उपलब्ध हो, कोई ऐसी दवाई उपलब्ध हो जिससे इसका उपचार किया जा सके. सो we have only one option. We have to strengthen our immune system. So we should know about the factors on which our immune system depends. हमें जानना होगा कि कौन कौन से फैक्टर्स पर इम्यून सिस्टम निर्भर करता है. इन सब सिस्टम्स की बात करेंगे, इन सब फैक्टर्स की बात करेंगे. These factors are age. We know that immune system depends on age, also depends on gender. Both males and females, there is an individual difference between their immune system. Our eating habits also affect our immune system. Medical status to a great extent, training, and the last one is fitness level. But if we see carefully, यदि हम इसको ध्यान से देखें, age is beyond our control, gender is beyond our control, and to a great extent we can control the medical status, but eating habits, training, and fitness level are under our 100% control. हम किसी की आयु को नियंत्रित नहीं कर सकते, किसी के जेंडर को नियंत्रित नहीं कर सकते, लेकिन मेडिकल स्टेटस को काफी हद तक हम कंट्रोल कर सकते हैं, इंप्रूवमेंट कर सकते हैं, सुधार कर सकते हैं. लेकिन बचे हुए तीनों पूर्णतः हम पर निर्भर करते हैं. हम पूरी तरह से हमारे नियंत्रण में हैं, जो कि है ईटिंग हैबिट्स, खाने की आदतें, ट्रेनिंग, प्रशिक्षण, जो जैसा हम करना चाहें, और फिटनेस लेवल, हम इंप्रूव कर सकते हैं अपने फिटनेस लेवल को. अब बात करते हैं इम्यून सिस्टम के बारे में I will discuss in detail about immune system, how this system works, क्योंकि इसको जानने के बाद ही I will be able to establish a strong relationship between immune system and exercise science. So immune system को, we know that there are two types of immune systems in our body, innate immunity and acquired immunity. I will discuss in detail about each type. Innate immunity की बात भी करूंगा, acquired immunity की बात भी करूंगा. शुरू करते हैं innate immunity से कि what do you mean by innate immunity? This is known as the first line of defense. हमारी रक्षा करने की ये पहली लाइन है, पहला बॉर्डर है. This consists of atomic as well as physiological barriers, and the examples of anatomic and physiological barriers are skin, mucous membranes, body temperature, and specialized cells. I will discuss in detail about these specialized cells also. Now, I will discuss about the functioning of white blood cells. These are known as leukocytes. In a healthy individual, किसी भी एक स्वस्थ व्यक्ति में, the count of the leukocytes means white blood cells is in between 4,500 to 11,000 cells per microliter of blood. Regarding the production of the white blood cells, these are produced by our bone marrow, that is the inner part of our bone, and the function is this help to defend the body against infectious and foreign materials. This protect us from invading substances, microorganisms, जो कि बाहरी जीवाणु आक्रमणकारी हैं, उन आक्रमणकारियों से हमारी रक्षा करते हैं white blood cells. And we know that since these are found in blood, these circulate through the body and seek out their targets. वो अपने टारगेट को ढूंढते हैं, टारगेट पर अटैक करते हैं, उसको नष्ट करते हैं. And there are two basic types of leukocytes. यदि हम विभिन्न प्रकार के ल्यूकोसाइट्स की बात करें, विभिन्न प्रकार के व्हाइट ब्लड सेल्स की बात करें, तो हम इनको दो प्रकार में विभाजित करते हैं. First one is phagocytes. What these phagocytes do, these chew up invading organism, जो भी जीवाणु आक्रमणकारी हैं उनको नष्ट करते हैं. Second one is lymphocytes. These remember and recognize previous invaders. हर व्यक्ति विशेष के जीवन में भूतकाल में भी किसी न किसी माइक्रो या इन्वेडिंग ऑर्गेनिज्म का अटैक हुआ रहता है. ये याद रखते हैं कि हाँ, किसने अटैक किया था. They develop on the basis of that the antibodies are developed. अब इसी को कंटिन्यू रखते हैं. अब बात करते हैं, अभी तक हमने बात की व्हाइट ब्लड सेल्स की, ल्यूकोसाइट्स की. अब बात करते हैं ग्रेनुलोसाइट्स की. This is a type of phagocyte. जो phagocyte का फंक्शन था वही ये करते हैं. These are visible in the cytoplasm in the cell. कोशिका में, साइटोप्लाज्म में प्रदर्शित होते हैं, दिखाई देते हैं, पाए जाते हैं. This consists of polymorphonuclear cells. These are also known as PMN, which are subdivided into 3 classes. और ये PMN हैं जो ये 3 प्रकार के हैं. इनकी फंक्शनिंग को जानना जरूरी है यदि हम इनेट इम्यून सिस्टम के बारे में ठीक से जानना चाहते हैं. तो फर्स्ट वन इज न्यूट्रोफिल्स, सेकंड वन इज eosinophils, and third one is basophils. I will discuss in detail about the functioning of these 3 cells: neutrophils, eosinophils, and basophils. Let us start with the first. पहले से शुरू करते हैं. Neutrophils, granulocytes. Since I have added the word granulocytes, since this is a type of granulocytes, so the first type is neutrophil granulocytes. In a healthy individual, the number is from 4,000 to 7,000 cells per microliter of blood. And very important in fight against infections. These fight against the infections, any type of infection that takes place in our body. And these are most abundant white blood cells. Why? They account for 65 to 70% of all leukocytes. जितने भी, यदि कुल ल्यूकोसाइट्स में से 65 से 70% इनकी मात्रा होती है हमारे रक्त में, If a bacterial infection occurs, किसी भी प्रकार का यदि bacterial infections होता है, these neutrophils travel in the infected area, ये affected area में पहुंचते हैं और न्यूट्रलाइज करते हैं इन्वेडिंग बैक्टीरिया को, उस इन्वेडिंग बैक्टीरिया को नष्ट करते हैं. But the main important point is, in those cases means if our body is infected, the total number of neutrophils, granulocytes is high, क्योंकि आक्रमणकारियों से लड़ने के लिए संख्या अधिक चाहिए. The number of neutrophil granulocytes increases in these cases. Now I will discuss about the second type of granulocytes, the eosinophils granulocytes. The number is 0 to 500 cells per microliter of blood in a healthy individual. किसी भी स्वस्थ व्यक्ति में ये मात्रा है जो पाई जाती है रक्त में. These do not phagocyte, ये डिस्ट्रॉय नहीं करते हैं, chew up नहीं करते हैं invading substances को, invading organism को. तो करते क्या है? These are very important for any type of allergic reactions. Maybe allergy, that allergy may be related to our lungs also, and may be related to another skin also. This act against the allergic reactions. The third and the last type of granulocytes, that is basophil granulocytes. The number is very less, from 0 to 100 cells per microliter of blood in a healthy individual. And the function is same as the previous one. जो पिछले granulocytes का function था, लगभग वही इसका function है. These are also involved in allergic reactions. किसी भी प्रकार की एलर्जी में इनका कार्य है. These contains two, that is histamine and heparin. अब प्रश्न उठा, question arises, what is the function of histamine and what is the function of heparin? Let us discuss one by one. Histamine is responsible for widening blood vessels and increasing the flow of blood into the injured tissue. It also makes blood vessels more permeable, so neutrophils and clotting proteins can get into connective tissues more easily, and they can fight. If they reaches very effectively, then they can fight very easily to invading organism. जो भी आक्रमणकारी जीवाणु है उनसे अगर वहां आसानी से पहुंच पाएंगे, आसानी से और अधिक संख्या में पहुंच पाएंगे, तो they can fight with invading organisms. Next one is heparin. This inhibits blood clotting and promotes the movement of white blood cell into the area. It means the main function is this: promote white blood cell in the infected area where the invading substances, invading organism attacks. तो अभी तक हमने तीनों की बात की, जो कि तीन प्रकार के ग्रेनुलोसाइट्स थे. इन तीनों के फंक्शन की हमने बात की. इसी को चर्चा हम कर रहे हैं. We are discussing about the first type of first type of immune system, that is known as innate immune system. तो immune system इसी में आगे बढ़ते हैं. अभी I will discuss about the functioning of monocytes. The counting of monocytes in a healthy individual is 100 to 1000 cells per microliter of blood. And this is another type of white blood cell. That is a part of white blood cell. It is produced by bone marrow, same as previous one. And these monocytes make up between 3 to 8% of the leukocytes, 3 to 8% of the white blood cells. The number is very less and it is found in blood. We all know that, nothing new. This circulate, the main function is this circulate in the blood for about 1 to 3 days before moving into the tissues. It means after production from the bone marrow से उत्पादन होने के बाद रक्त में रहता है 1 से 3 दिन तक. After 1 to 3 days, this moves into the tissues, और वो उत्तक में प्रवेश करता है. Then what it do, like a neutrophils, granulocytes, these are responsible for phagocytosis of foreign substances in the body. ये वही करता है. Phagocytosis means this chew up. When the monocytes leave the blood barrier, they differentiate into the tissues. But when they leave the blood barrier, their size as well as characteristics changes. इनके आकार में भी परिवर्तन होता है और इनकी विशेषताएं जो विशेषताएं पहले पाई जाती थी उन विशेषताओं में भी परिवर्तन होता है। अब क्या, आफ्टर चेंज इन द साइज एंड कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स, दीज आर नेम्ड एज माइक्रोफेजेस, and macrophages are responsible for protecting tissues from foreign substances. It means the function is same. This protects us from the foreign invading substances, foreign invading microorganisms that attack our body. संक्षिप्त में बात करते हैं, क्योंकि अब अंतिम पड़ाव पर पहुंचते हैं इनेट इम्यून सिस्टम के। Before migrating into the tissues, the leukocytes migrate toward the site of infection. जो भी शरीर का भाग, कोई भी ऑर्गन जो कि इफेक्ट हुआ इन्फेक्शन से, ये ल्यूकोसाइट्स माइग्रेट होते हैं उस भाग तक, इन्फेक्टेड साइट तक पहुंचते हैं। देन दिस अंडरगो ए प्रोसेस, एक प्रक्रिया एक शुरू होती है। वी नो दैट इन ए प्रोसेस डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ chemical activities or reactions takes place, and I have given the name a process. A process takes place, and this process is known as chemotaxis. It means this is a cell movement towards a certain chemicals in the environment where the infection takes place. These granulocytes along with the monocytes, these both, that is granulocytes and monocytes, protect us against bacteria एंड इन्वेडिंग ऑर्गेनिज्म, जो हमारी रक्षा करते हैं बैक्टीरिया से भी और जो कि आक्रमणकारी जीवाणु है उनसे हमारी रक्षा करते हैं। एंड दिस प्रोसेस, दिस होल प्रोसेस इज नोन एज phagocytosis. It means ingestion. Only cells participating in this phagocytosis are called as phagocytes. आगे चलते हैं, अब बात करेंगे दूसरे की। अभी तक हमने चर्चा की इनेट इम्यून सिस्टम की, अब हम बात करेंगे एक्वायर्ड इम्यून सिस्टम की। बाय द हेल्प ऑफ द पार्टिसिपेशन इन द फिजिकल एक्सरसाइजेस and by the knowledge of exercise science, we can improve our acquired immune system. The innate immune system was the first line of protection, and this is the second line of the protection. ये हमारी दूसरी रेखा है, दूसरी बाउंड्री है जो हमें प्रोटेक्ट करती है आफ्टर इनेट इम्यून सिस्टम। दिस इज ऑल्सो नोन एज, इसको ये और दूसरे नामों से भी जानी जाती है। दिस इज ऑल्सो नोन एज एडेप्टिव एज वेल एज एक्टिव इम्यूनिटी। इसको एडेप्टिव इम्यूनिटी, इट मीन्स वी हैव टू अडेप्ट, इट इज नॉट इनबॉर्न, ये हमें जन्म से नहीं मिली है। वी हैव टू अडेप्ट एंड वी हैव टू अटेन एक्टिवली, हमें इसको एक्टिवली अटेन करना है, अर्जित करना है। सो दिस इज नोन एज एक्वायर्ड इम्यूनिटी, एडेप्टिव इम्यूनिटी और एक्टिव इम्यूनिटी। दिस डेवलप्स थ्रू आउट आवर लाइव्स फ्रॉम बर्थ टू डेथ। हमारे पूरे जीवन पर्यंत इसमें इसका विकास होता रहता है, जन्म से ही, बचपन से ही शुरू हो जाते हैं। इट इन्वॉल्व्स लिम्फोसाइट्स, इसमें उपयोग जिसका होता है लिम्फोसाइट्स का। एंड इन हेल्दी इंडिविजुअल द काउंट्स ऑफ लिम्फोसाइट इज from 2000 to 500 cells per microliter of blood. This depends on, this means the acquired immune system, this or adaptive or active immunity depends on two factors. First one is adults are exposed to disease, यदि हमें कोई बीमारी जकड़ती है, घेरती है, तो अपने आप विकसित होती है। Second one is this is also डिपेंडेंट ऑन इम्यूनाइज्ड अगेंस्ट डिजीज थ्रू वैक्सीनेशन। जो भी वैक्सीनेशन है, टीके के माध्यम से भी इसको विकसित किया जाता है। अब इसकी ही थोड़ी सी विस्तार से चर्चा करते हैं। द मेन सेल्स इन दिस, देयर आर टू टाइप्स ऑफ मेन सेल्स, बी lymphocytes and T lymphocytes, and these secrete a variety of specialized molecules. These are antibodies and cytokinesis. These, the main point of understanding is this, इसको समझने का मेन भाग यह है कि बी लिम्फोसाइट्स क्या करते हैं, टी लिम्फोसाइट्स क्या करते हैं। उसके बाद अंतिम भाग में प्रवेश करेंगे कि रिलेशनशिप ऑफ एक्सरसाइज साइंस विद द इम्यून सिस्टम। बी लिम्फोसाइट्स, वी कैन कंपेयर बी लिम्फोसाइट्स विद बॉडीज मिलिट्री इंटेलिजेंस। यदि एक हमारे इस इम्यूनिटी सिस्टम को एक फौज का रूप दे दिया जाए, एक सेना का रूप दे दिया जाए, तो इसको हम मिलिट्री बॉडीज, मिलिट्री इंटेलिजेंस कह सकते हैं। कुछ नहीं करती है, these seeking out of the targets and organizing defenses, ये सूचना प्राप्त करती है कि हमारे शरीर में आक्रमणकारी कहां पर है, ये इन्फॉर्म करती हैं टी लिम्फोसाइट से। और टी लिम्फोसाइट एक टाइप ऑफ सैनिक है, these are type of soldiers, and these soldiers, after getting information from the military intelligence system, after getting information from B lymphocytes, these attack, these destroy the invaders, जो आक्रमणकारी हैं, जिन्होंने आक्रमण किया है, जो कि इंटेलिजेंस सिस्टम की सूचना के आधार पर है, उनको नष्ट करते हैं। इन दिस वे दिस एक्वायर्ड इम्यून सिस्टम वर्क्स, and the T lymphocytes can also be engaged in direct cell to cell warfare. And these lymphocytes start out in the bone marrow where they reside, then mature into B cells. These are converted into B cells. Then lymphocytes can also leave that and travel to the thymus gland. Then they travel to the thymus gland, they reach the thymus gland, and they mature into T cells. And this process takes place. And next one is the granulocytes. The life of the granulocytes is very short. These are released from the bone marrow and circulate in the blood only for 4 to 8 hours. इनकी आयु सीमा बहुत कम है, 4 से 8 घंटे केवल जीवित रहते हैं। And these leave the blood and enter into the tissues and can live there in the cell up to 3 to 4 days. If the body is exposed for serious infections, they live even shorter. The number in the blood depends on the release of mature granulocytes from the bone marrow. इनकी संख्या निर्भर करती है, क्योंकि उत्पादन बोन मैरो से है, बोन मैरो कितना उत्पादन करती है, इनकी संख्या उस पर निर्भर करती है। यदि कोई इन्वेडिंग सब्सटेंसेस आक्रमण करते हैं शरीर पर तो इनकी संख्या कम हो जाती है, क्योंकि ड्यूरिंग फाइट these may also be destroyed. During infection, the body needs an increased number of granulocytes. यदि इन्फेक्शन होता है, किसी प्रकार का आक्रमण होता है, तो इनकी संख्या अधिक चाहिए. There is no need to explain. अब मैं लास्ट पार्ट की तरफ बढ़ता हूं. That is the most important part, जो कि सबसे महत्वपूर्ण भाग है मेरे प्रस्तुतिकरण का. The relationship between exercise and immune system. The relationship between exercise science and immune system. This is based on Coleman, and this was published on May 5th, 2020. This is based on a new article. It is not based on older clinical researches. This is based on a article that is published very recently in a refereed journal about the early concept and recent concept. What was the early concept? By early concept, I mean from the studies which comes under 1980, which were conducted in between 1980s to 1990s. And what was the study ends, and this conception, the early concept ended at the end of 20th century. उस समय क्या था, पुरानी जो विचारधारा थी, this is only based on observational studies. No clinical researches were conducted. वहां पर एक misconception था, अवधारणा थी कि the immune system is affected negatively by the participation in exercise. कि व्यायाम में भाग लेने से हमारी इम्यूनिटी कम होती है, यह धारणा थी. क्यों? कुछ मैराथन रनर्स थे, उन पर स्टडी की गई, उनको लंग इन्फेक्शन मिला, और भी कुछ जो भी एक्सरसाइज एथलीट करते थे. स्पेशली द स्टडीज वर कंडक्टेड ऑन लॉन्ग ड्यूरेशन एक्टिविटीज, ऑन एंड्योरेंस टाइप्स ऑफ एक्टिविटीज. तो उनमें लेकिन कोई भी अब तक क्लिनिकल एविडेंसेस नहीं है. ऑल आर बेस्ड ऑन ऑब्जर्वेशंस. और हम जानते हैं कि विदाउट एनी क्लिनिकल एविडेंस वी कैन नॉट लीड टू एनी कंक्लूजन. तो ये एक अवधारणा थी, लेकिन जो रिसेंट कंसेप्ट है, इस रिसेंट कंसेप्ट ने इस अवधारणा को दूर कर दिया. अब यह अवधारणा नहीं है. अब क्या है? दैट इज द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट ऑफ माय प्रेजेंटेशन. अकॉर्डिंग टू द रिसेंट कंसेप्ट, the effect of exercise on immune system depends on exercise duration, कि हम कितनी अवधि तक करते हैं, and it depends on the intensity. It means the speed of work done, कि हम किस गति से करते हैं, इन दोनों पर निर्भर करता है. That may be negative effect also, that may be positive effect also. तो अब चर्चा का विषय हुआ कि क्या ड्यूरेशन हो, क्या इंटेंसिटी हो, इसकी चर्चा करेंगे। और एक और क्लिनिकल एविडेंस है, अभी रिसेंट कंसेप्ट में आई हैव गॉन थ्रू ए क्लिनिकल एविडेंस and that is mentioned by Coleman in the same article. It means increase in the natural killer cells, कि हमारे शरीर में जो नेचुरल किलर सेल्स हैं, these increases 10 folds, इनमें 10 गुना वृद्धि, and that is a significant improvement. और केवल से अति का सार्थक अंतर है कि 2 फोल्ड हो, 3 फोल्ड हो इंप्रूवमेंट, लेकिन एविडेंसेस बताते हैं, क्लिनिकल एविडेंसेस बताते हैं कि नेचुरल किलर सेल्स में लगभग 10 गुना वृद्धि होती है। दिस इंक्रीजेस 10 टाइम्स। आगे चलते हैं। टाइम टू टाइम डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ स्टडीज वर कंडक्टेड रिगार्डिंग द इफेक्ट ऑफ एक्सरसाइज ऑन इम्यून सिस्टम एंड द पीरियड ऑफ एक्सरसाइज इम्यूनोलॉजी रिसर्चेस की बात करें, जिसमें कि केवल इम्यूनोलॉजी से आई हैव इंक्लूडेड ओनली द स्टडीज विच आर रिलेटेड टू इम्यूनोलॉजी ओनली, दूसरे प्रकार के अध्ययनों को इसमें शामिल नहीं किया गया है। एंड आई डिवाइडेड दीज स्टडीज इनटू डिफरेंट पार्ट्स, यदि एक क्रोनोलॉजिकली विभिन्न भागों में विभाजित किया है। द फर्स्ट पार्ट इज फ्रॉम 1900 टू 1979 एंड द स्टडीज वर कंडक्टेड ऑन एक्यूट चेंजेस इन बेसिक इम्यून सेल्स, केवल इम्यून सेल्स पर अध्ययन किया गया। उसके बाद जो दशा में परिवर्तन हुआ, द ट्रेंड चेंज्ड, उसमें था कि रेस्पिरेटरी इलनेस पर स्टडीज आयोजित की गई एंड द स्टडी शोज नेगेटिव एज वेल एज positive effect on respiratory illness, but that depends on the duration of the activity as well as intensity. That depends on the total work done during the practice session as well as the speed of work done during the training session. और जो तीसरा भाग है जो स्टडीज उसमें कोट किया गया है 1990 to 2009, उसमें रिलेशनशिप दिखाया गया, if we add nutrition simultaneously with the exercise, the effect changes, different type of effect takes place, and in on every age group the effect is not same. These studies shows that. Next one is from 2010 till date, the various clinical studies have been conducted, the multi-omics approaches takes place, and I will discuss about these. I want to, on the basis of clinical evidences, I want to discuss about this open window theory. This open window theory should be kept in our mind. This is described recently by Coleman on May 5th, 2020 in his article. According to this, see the graph is in front of you. After intense exercises, the open window takes place in between 3 to 72 hours. It means the first, after the completion of any training program, after the completion of a training session, the first 3 to 72 hours are very critical in nature. It means these are very sensitive. यहाँ पर immune system, यहाँ पर invading agents, यहाँ पर invading substances, यहाँ पर invading microorganism attack कर सकते हैं. Our body is very vulnerable during this period, but after 72 hours, this increases with a rapid pace. It means that has a positive effect on our immunity. So, in case of intense exercise, in case of long duration exercises, we should take care about this open window that takes place in between 3 to 72 hours. One thing, the decline in the immune cells number in cell numbers post exercise does not mean that they have been lost or destroyed. यदि immune किसी भी exercise session के बाद यदि ये जो immune cells हैं decrease होते हैं, इसका अर्थ ये नहीं है, जो कि शुरू में जो ऑब्जर्वेशनल स्टडीज पर आधारित था, जो कि क्लिनिकल रिसर्चेस ने प्रूव किया, इसका अर्थ ये नहीं है कि इसको इन्वेडिंग सब्सटेंसेस ने, इन्वेडिंग माइक्रो ऑर्गेनिजम्स ने इनको डिस्ट्रॉय कर दिया, ऐसा नहीं है. तो क्या है? द सेल्स गेट रीडिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड स्पेशली टू द एरिया ऑफ द बॉडी व्हिच माइट हैव बिकम इन्फेक्टेड, क्योंकि इट्स अ नेचुरल प्रोसेस, ये प्राकृतिक क्रिया है ये सेल्स वहां अप्रोच करते हैं जहां शरीर के जिस भाग में, जिस ऑर्गन में इंफेक्शन होता है, तो दूसरे भाग में, शरीर के दूसरे भागों में इसकी संख्या नेचुरली, प्राकृतिक रूप से कम होगी। कोई चिंता के विषय की बात नहीं है। द एग्जाम्पल इज some cells are redistributed into the lungs due to intense breathing. During exercise, the respiratory rate increases. These cells, these immune cells approaches or reached the breathing in the lungs. So this is the example. Exercise actually enhances our antibacterial and antiviral immunity. That is the important finding based on clinical researches. Again, I repeat, exercise actually enhances our antibacterial and antiviral immunity by increasing our immune surveillance. That is, increase in the immune surveillance takes place by participation in the exercise. But the important point is we should take care about the duration of exercise, and we should take care about the intensity, that is the speed of work done. There should be a proper coordination between these two. By the help of this picture, I have given two examples, moderate exercise and intense exercise. In the moderate exercise, see the results. It means in case of moderate exercise, after the activity, the immune system is enhanced. But on the other hand, in the intense exercise, after the intense exercise session, this open window takes place. It means the immunity becomes very vulnerable. So we have to take care about that open window. I have explained this open window earlier. Now, I would like to tell about one main finding that is based on clinical researches, that is improving glycogen lactic acid system. कि हमारे glycogen, Dr. Deepti, can I take five minutes more?
Sure, sir, sure. Good, sir.
Okay. We can improve glycogen lactic acid system. We know that the immediate source of energy is our ATP, adenosine triphosphate. After that, the energy source is creatine phosphate. उसके बाद जो सिस्टम कार्य करता है, the energy is supplied by glycogen lactic acid system. And I am trying to explain the effect of exercise on this system. It means that is a natural chemical reaction. When energy is required, each glycogen molecule is converted into two pyruvic acid molecules. And these pyruvic acid molecules enters in the cell. And in cell, mitochondria is there. And we know that that stores oxygen. And these pyruvic acid molecules reacts with oxygen. After reaction, these are converted into energy. But since one glycogen molecule is converted into two pyruvic acid molecules and the number of pyruvic acid molecules become very high, each pyruvic acid molecule is unable to get oxygen. So the pyruvic acid molecules which are unable to get the oxygen, these are converted into lactic acid, and that lead to fatigue. It means by the help of exercises, more oxygen can be supplied at tissue level. It means we can delay the fatigue for longer duration, the accumulation of lactic acid. Next is the last part. Only 2-3 slides are remaining. The endurance. I would like to share the facts related to endurance training, and this is published in the year 2012 on June 25th. On the basis of the study conducted by Ben Greenfield, and this article was published in Training Peaks. Who jumped into the sedentary lifestyle into the exercise program? कोई भी व्यक्ति विशेष यदि सामान्य जीवन बिना एक्सरसाइज का जीवन जी रहा है और वो प्रवेश करता है एक्सरसाइज प्रोग्राम में, the differences in sex drive takes place, and not only differences, the evidence shows that the significant difference in the sex drive takes place. And these studies shown that following 20 minutes of vigorous exercise, women are more sexually responsive. Higher testosterone levels in men is also shown by the research studies, which correlate with higher sexual interest or behavior linked to the short, intense exercise. But studies also shown that, this is the most important, I would like to share with you, too much exercise is associated with a decrease in testosterone in males. This is the negative effect also. It means too much exercise should be avoided, which can decrease sexual desire. In women also, too much exercise can cause depletion in two basic sex hormones, that is estrogen and progesterone. These are the two important hormones for women. So again, I repeat, we should take care about the duration of exercise and the intensity of exercise. Strength training program or speed training. In the last slides, we have discussed about the long duration training programs. Now, I will discuss about the training program that is related to the strength training and speed training. These strength training and speed training programs, if we do strength activities and speed activities, it means with a great intensity. These release a high amount of growth hormones. That is the most important. These are required. And other anabolic hormones into the bloodstream. हमारे रक्त में anabolic hormones का secretion अधिक होता है. And the endurance training results in higher amount of cortisol, and these comes under the category of a catabolic hormones. तो थोड़ा सा लास्ट पार्ट में हम जान लेते हैं कि व्हाट आर एनाबॉलिक हार्मोन्स एंड व्हाट आर कैटाबॉलिक हार्मोन्स. तो यहाँ पर निष्कर्ष है, वी कंक्लूडेड दैट in case of strength and speed training, anabolic hormones are secreted more. On the other hand, in case of endurance training, more catabolic hormones are secreted. Anabolic hormones are typically associated with the increased sex drive and serve to synthesize proteins and facilitate muscle growth. अभी साजी से एक क्वेश्चन पूछा था किसी ने कि एक पार्टिसिपेंट ने कि हमारी मसल मास कैसे बढ़े. तो दिस डिपेंड्स ऑन द एनाबॉलिक हार्मोन्स. एग्जांपल्स आर इंसुलिन, टेस्टोस्टेरोन, एस्ट्रोजन. ऑन द अदर हैंड कैटाबॉलिक हार्मोन्स वर्क टू द अपोजिट इफेक्ट. इसके ठीक विपरीत प्रभाव है. इट डिक्रीज इन्फ्लेमेशन. एग्जांपल्स आर कॉर्टिसोल, ग्लूकागोन, progesterone or adrenaline. These are the examples. But the main issue of discussion is the body requires similar amount of both the types of hormones. There should be a balance between these two, anabolic and catabolic hormones, to remain in homeostasis. But endurance athletes produce much more catabolic hormones, that is known as cortisol. Then they do anabolic hormones that suppressing testosterone production in men and depleting estrogen levels in women. And we know that due to this very negative effect may takes place. So we should take care about that. We have to maintain the balance between both the type of hormones, both the types of secretion of the both the types of hormones, that is anabolic as well as catabolic. Then solution. मुख्य बात है सोल्यूशन कैसे, इस सब का उपचार कैसे हो कि सब कुछ ठीक रहे, हमारा इम्यून सिस्टम ठीक से कार्य करे, हार्मोनल बैलेंस बना रहे. इसके लिए हम सब क्या करें? द सॉल्यूशन इज, इट्स वेरी इजी. मोर इंटेंसिटी, लेस वॉल्यूम. एक बिगिनर, एक इस जो आज के दिन जो स्थिति है, यहाँ पर स्पोर्ट्स कंपटीशन की बात नहीं हो रही. वी आर नॉट टॉकिंग अबाउट इंप्रूविंग अवर परफॉर्मेंस. हम अपना एक खेल के प्रदर्शन को बढ़ाने की बात नहीं कर रहे हैं, हम उस एक्सरसाइज प्रोग्राम की बात कर रहे हैं. बाय यूजिंग दैट वी कैन इंक्रीज आवर इम्यूनिटी, वी कैन मेंटेन द बैलेंस बिटवीन द एनाबॉलिक एंड कैटाबॉलिक हार्मोन्स. So this will depend on the proper intensity and volume. It means keep your intensity high, keep your volume less. Next one is eat a fat diet. Studies आपको कहेंगे कि फैट, लेकिन इस फैट डाइट का क्या प्रभाव पड़ेगा? क्यों? फैट्स आर हार्मोनल precursors and in particular natural resources of cholesterol and saturated fat are used to fuel the body's hormone production process. और आवश्यकता हमें कि body's hormone production process जो प्रक्रिया है बॉडी के हार्मोन सीक्रेट करने की, इसको हमें इसमें वृद्धि करनी है. अवॉइड सिंपल शुगर्स, प्रोसेस्ड फूड को भी अवॉइड कीजिए, अल्कोहल को अवॉइड कीजिए. These three compounds can deplete natural hormones and introduce synthetic hormones into the body, which creates hormonal balances, जो कि कैटाबॉलिक और एनाबॉलिक हार्मोन्स के बीच में असंतुलन की स्थिति पैदा होगी. ये इसके द्वारा हो सकती है. So this is very important. Avoid stress. We all know that stress is also associated with our immune system. Stress is also associated with the secretion of different hormones. So hormonal balance also imbalance also takes place. due to the stress. So stress should be avoided. Keep yourself busy in any task. My suggestion is, my last slide, my suggestion is, the most consistent evidence suggests routine participation. This is given by Laddu and others in the year 2020. यह conclusion उठाया है मैंने, लिया है मैंने, जो कि दिया गया है एक अध्ययन में, एक क्लिनिकल रिसर्च में, that is published by Laddu in the year 2020. कोई पुराना आर्टिकल नहीं है. It means approximately 150 minutes per week, a moderate intensity physical exercise program is necessary to achieve optimal immune system. यदि केवल हम immune system को improve करने के लिए कोई व्यायाम का कार्यक्रम तैयार करना चाहते हैं तो लगभग 150 मिनट पर वीक का होना चाहिए, लेकिन इंटेंसिटी मॉडरेट हो, जो कि उसके उच्चतम प्रभाव पड़ेंगे, ऑप्टिमल प्रभाव पड़ेंगे इम्यूनिटी पर. Now my presentation is based on these reviews. I have mentioned these reviews. Again, I express my sincere thanks to the organizers, especially to Dr. Deepti for invitation. Thanks, Dr. Deepti. Now
Thank
your
you so
questions
much.
are invited. Thank you.
Sir, we'll take those questions tomorrow at panel discussion. So now I hand over mic to Achin sir.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, Dr. Deepti Joshi. Thank you very much, sir, for give us your valuable time. And your session is very fruitful and very informative session, sir, on the topic of candid opinion about the role and exercise sciences. And you are very well explained the endurance training, and you are also focusing on the how to improve our immunity power in during the COVID-19. Thank you very much, sir. And I want to share one experience with you in the BHU 2011. Here is one remember my own experience with sir. I have attended the sir's lecture in a workshop at BHU in 2011. That time, sir's lecture was very informative and fruitful on yoga. And so many participants are there. They put the many questions and queries on the yoga, but sir is regularly was going to clear all the doubts and clears. Such a really wonderful experience with sir for me. Thank you very much, sir, for give us in your valuable time, and thank you very much. And over
Thank
to
you, sir.
Dr. Deepti Joshi.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for appreciation. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. Now we are sharing one poll, and all the participants are requested to participate on that. We are launching it. It is visible on your screen. Please fill it and share your views with us.
And
we are sharing another one. This is for tomorrow. We'll share this poll tomorrow.
वही आ रहा है, एंड नहीं हो रहा.
Second. Now, thank you everyone. I would like to thanks all our resource persons, Professor Dr. Jayashree Acharya, Dr. Shahaji Prabhakaran, and Professor Dr. Rajiv Chaudhary, sir, to giving their precious time. They spent their time with us. Thank you so much for your valuable experiences which you were shared with us. And thanks for giving your expertise, sharing your expertise with us. Definitely, it's very valuable, and we are blessed to have speakers like you all. So tomorrow we'll start at 10:30, and participants are requested to join us at 10:15. so that we can manage it and start our session sharp 10:30, and we'll have a panel discussion at 11:45 onwards. So we will take questions from here, and resource persons, today's resource person also invited to join us in a closing ceremony. And thank you everyone, thank you
Share
all
करूं?
the panelists. Yes, we are sharing again that poll. Participants are requested to fill it.
Share results आ रहा है इधर.
Relaunch कीजिए.
This
Now
one.
it's on your screen. Participants, please give your valuable feedback on that. Sir, Chaudhary sir, there are some, we can take some question, one or two questions here. One of our participant want to know that we are in lockdown situation, we are at home, how we can improve immunity while working out at home, because it is restricted for all of us to move out from means it is not like previous days, we cannot go out and practice. So how we can improve our immunity, and with the help of yoga and other training methods. Sir, please unmute yourself.
Dr. Deepti, in my presentation, I have discussed about the role of only exercise science. I didn't include yogic exercises, but to improve immune system, we can include both physical exercises also, yogic exercises also. But in our discussion, we have concluded that we have to adopt moderate exercises with the moderate intensity, and duration should not be very long. We can do exercise at our home. For example, we can perform dynamic Surya Namaskar also. That comes with a moderate intensity. We can do 40-50 repetitions of Surya Namaskar. Simultaneously with this, we can do some free hand exercises also. So our main concentration should be on the intensity and duration of the program. That is the most important point that should be kept in our mind.
Thank you so much, sir. And there are some more. They are asking about yoga and how to fight against corona. As
Can I ask one question, Deepti, if you permit?
Sure, sir. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Professor Rajiv sir. Your lecture was really wonderful, and it was really a candid opinion, and it was great to hear you. And, it's a perfect. I just want to add, few things. If you allow me, like
Sure,
immunity, of course.
Sure.
Yeah,
Sure,
you have narrated very well, for the people, and it was, really even, very enlightening for me. I have also did, one project on, immunity recently in 2 years back. And I also found the same results what you have discussed, about immunity, and like there are so many contradictions, about immunity, with the research, the results are not like, clinical experience. And I also found the same. The one reason is that because I was searching literature when I'm doing my project, and I found that, all the researchers are based on the acute effect of exercise. Like you do exercise, and in next 72 hours, we see, the level of WBC, and one more component like serum immunoglobulins, IgG, IgA, and IgM. They are also very important for immunity of a person. So all that acute effects. And when we study the acute effects, of course, as you said, because of exercise, there are redistribution of cells. So we cannot exactly, come to conclusion that whether the exercise, helps, to develop the immunity, or it goes against, in a negative way. So the long-term effects are very important to study for immunity. But again, in the long-term effects, it's very difficult to study long-term effects, because suppose if I do a program for 6 months and then I want to see the effect, and then I do a testing, say when we conclude the program in 24 hours. Now, during our testing period, there are so many other factors, like because of which WBC can increase. A person may be having a fever or some other things. He may be, stressed with exams. So there's so many other factors. So that's why there is so much of, like contradiction still, on the part of exercise and immunity, and which you have very rightly said. And of course, the moderate, as you said at the end, the moderate intensity, and the low, less duration, will really, help to increase the immunity. Thank you so much for enlightening us, and it's always great to hear you. Thank you.
Thank you, Tomar Saab. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Dr. Tomar, sir, for including your views also. It's really very fruitful session for us. Thank you, Professor Dr. Rajiv Chaudhary, sir. And thanks to all the participants and panelists for joining us today. We are looking forward to see you all tomorrow, and we welcome you all in closing day or second day of our webinar. So with this, I would like to close this meeting. Thank you one and all once again. Thanks for joining us.